Hello, everyone, and welcome in. It is a Wednesday. That means only one thing. It's time now for Supernatural News and Parashare here on Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. You know what? We need a co-hostess. So with that, I'm not going to reach my hand out across the Atlantic or whatever that little ocean or lake is over to the east. Instead, I'm going to stay right here in the Twin Cities and bring in the one, the only, the effervescent, the lovely, the very humorous and very intelligent co-hostess that has not one, not two, not three, but four books out right now. She's also investigated the Four Paws restaurant, and she'll have the results of that coming up yet again today at the Four Paws restaurant. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here she is, Jessica Freeburg. Hi, Jess. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Yeah, you just have to reach across little lakes to get to me. No Great Lakes involved.
We're a river. Yeah, there's a river
Yeah,
between us.
river.
That's right. A river runs through it. I think that's a movie or something.
We are separated by a river.
That's right. We are separated by a river. Yeah.
Brad Pitt's somewhere on there.
Just have to remember my geology. That's right.
It's a body of water. It doesn't matter. You need a boat or a bridge to get over it,
That's right. We need a bridge, build a bridge and get over it, right?
or a zip line. That would be fun.
Yeah, speaking of, you conquered that deal, didn't you?
I did. I literally can't believe I did it. I'm so afraid of heights. They literally shut down a ride at the Iowa State Fair that was like one of those swings because I
Uh-huh.
was crying so hard and screaming. But
Yeah.
somehow I did a zip line that's 11 stories high down Fremont Street in Vegas.
So what did you have to do to get over that? How did you convince yourself to do it?
Well, I am certified as a mindfulness coach. So I was like, I'm just going to do some mindfulness when I get up there because it looked so fun and I really want to overcome my fears. So I went up there and I did a little meditation and then it like struck me like, just be a bird. Birds aren't afraid of falling out of the sky. They just fly,
Yeah,
just be a bird. So I just laid there and I was like, I'm a bird.
nice.
So
You
dumb.
just took off.
But
Yeah,
it worked. I wasn't scared at all. I had the best time.
that's cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw the video on your social media page. I was like, yeah, cool. Now she
My
just
biggest fear was I was going to make it rain on everyone below me by peeing my pants.
And did you?
But I did not.
Good. There you go. See? There you go. You conquered it.
Proud moment.
Now when are you jumping out of a plane?
Yeah, I don't think so. Although I did tell my husband, it actually sounds kind of fun now.
See? Yeah,
It was exhilarating.
you can jump tandem with an instructor.
No, but my luck would be the parachute wouldn't open. Like, there are legitimate concerns with jumping out of an
There,
airplane.
yeah, there are. There are. I don't think I'd ever do it, but you know, because I do have that luck where the chute won't open and
Yeah, yeah. I can be like in the moment and not be afraid, but like the reality is that does go wrong
yeah,
more often than I would like to
yeah,
consider as an option for my life.
yeah, yeah. And I don't have that kind of money for that kind of insurance. So
Nope.
yeah.
Besides, people would miss us if we died in a jumping accident. We need to be here. It's
Well,
important.
they'd miss you. They'd miss me. They'd be like, ah, it figures that dumbass.
Oh no. You'd be so missed, Tim.
I don't know about that. We should get to the story, shouldn't we? We
Let's
got
do
lots.
it.
We got lots of stuff on tap today, Jess. That's for sure. Um, Three Eye Atlas in the news yet again today. That's right. Stuff is flying through Three Eye Atlas, so we should know if this thing's a comet or not yet. It's a comet, by the way.
It's a
Spoiler.
comment.
Um, Aliens might have been around at the time of Cold War nuclear tests. We'll tell you about that. Whatever happened to that reboot of the X Files? We'll talk about that as well today. In AI news, um, there may be a way to defeat AI. We'll tell you about that today. That's right. AI might not take over our world after all. We'll tell you how we may defeat the thing. We got lots of ghost stories today. In other words, stories of ghosts. Lots of ghosts stories to tell you about. Um, We have a story today about what happens when 48 people reveal exactly what they saw during their near-death experiences, everything from black holes to God.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that today. Also, in our palate cleanser today, a woman claims she's from a country that doesn't exist, or does it? A very interesting story about how you might be able to get over at the airport. That's a very interesting deal. So that's our stories for today. Let's start it out with Three-Eye Atlas, that thing that may be a comet or an alien. If you're Avi Loeb, you think it's an alien. Everybody else thinks it's a comet. But
I want it to be an alien, but I think it's a comet.
you want it to be an alien, really?
I mean, yeah, I
Mm.
want to see aliens.
Mm.
I want it to be a nice, friendly alien, obviously, not the kind that, want to
We all
destroy our world and suck
do, but
our
if the
souls.
thing's hurtling from outer space and coming at us at thousands of miles an hour, it's not coming for a friendly chat.
That's true. I'm going to reconsider my stance on this, Tim. I think I want it to be not an alien.
Well, I tell you, Jess, two spacecraft are poised to fly right through the tail of this thing, Three-Eye Atlas. As luck would have it, two existing space probes happen to be perfectly positioned to investigate the object's tail. By now, Three-Eye Atlas needs little introduction. This curious interstellar interloper, which is currently passing through our solar system, has been the center of a great deal of debate and speculation for months, with most scientists arguing that it is simply a comet, and others, such as Harvard's Professor Avi Loeb, raising the possibility that it is in fact an object controlled by an advanced extraterrestrial civilization. While efforts have been made recently to gather as much data about this intriguing visitor as possible, the best photographs we have are rather indistinct, making it difficult to get a clear image of Three-Eye Atlas and clear up the debate over its nature and origin once and for all. Now, though, a lucky break may have presented itself. In a new paper, scientists have revealed that the two existing space probes, ESA's Hera, which is heading to the binary asteroid Didymos Dimorphos, and NASA's Europa Clipper, which is heading to Jupiter's icy moon, will actually be passing downwind of Three-Eye Atlas within the next few weeks, giving them an opportunity to detect ions from the object's tail. Trouble is, neither of these spacecraft were designed to analyze comets' tails, so adapting to their existing missions to accomplish in such a short time will prove very challenging. Also, Europa Clipper has the instrumentation capable of detecting ions in the tail, or it doesn't have it at all, so that'll be a challenge as well. Whether NASA will want to risk the probe's existing mission for the chance to further investigate Three-Eye Atlas, however, remains to be seen. Given that it continues to get nearer, we may not have too much longer to wait before we can find out for sure if there really is anything strange about this curious interstellar visitor. As things stand, it will reach its closest approach to Earth on December 19th. So, Jess, we don't have too much time to wait before this thing is nice and close and we can take a look at it and see for ourselves.
Just in time for Christmas.
That's right. So it's like, Merry Christmas, and then boom, right there in your face, right? You know, I
Scary.
had a friend message me yesterday about this thing, this shockwave that happened for 5 hours. Something powerful
Yeah.
moved through again today, and it didn't let up for 5 hours. And here's what it said. I want to pull up what this thing was that it was reported on, so I don't misquote it. So something powerful moved through again today, and it didn't let up for over 5 hours. The Earth's resonance refused to calm. What began as a burst turned into a bright, sustained frequency lock, holding steady through the early hours of October 27th. It's as if something deep within the planet's field was being driven, steady, rhythmic, and deliberate. Many around the world are feeling it. Ringing in the ears, pressure in the head or chest, restless sleep or vivid dreams, sudden mood swings or bursts of energy. whatever's moving through right now, it's palpable. Stay grounded, stay aware. The earth is speaking. Did you feel anything Sunday morning or Sunday night, Monday morning?
Mm, nothing out of the ordinary besides exhausted.
Besides
I was
exhaust.
thinking,
Yeah, yeah. I did feel
did
it.
you?
I felt exhausted. I had very weird, vivid dreams on Monday morning.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what exactly they were, but they were weird.
Hmm.
Yeah, just bizarre. Outside the ordinary. But uh, I don't remember. I don't remember my dreams most nights unless they're,
Yeah, I don't either.
but I remember it was like an organizational thing. It was like
Hmm.
and militaristic. I remember that, but I don't remember the details.
Very strange. Yeah, that's super creepy to think about that extended period of vibration being off and affecting so many people.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. Weird, weird, weird. Our next story has to do with a military firm that admits to causing a UFO flap over New Jersey last year. If you remember, in a surprising move, the firm, which is contracted by the U.S. military, has taken responsibility for this phenomenon. Social media has been awash, or had been awash back in November of 2024 after hundreds of sightings of mysterious objects above the state of New Jersey generated alarm and curiosity in equal measure. The Office of Emergency Management recorded 964 sightings in a total spanning 2 months. So great was the concern over the phenomena that even the White House got involved in attempting to allay the public's fears. I think they're talking about drones here. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat or have a foreign nexus, National Security spokesperson John Kirby said at the time. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with the state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Fast forward almost a full year now, and we actually do know their origin. A private and unnamed military contractor that had been conducting exercises to trial its new airborne hardware. You remember that big UFO scare in New Jersey last year? Well, that was us. One of the firm's employees reportedly admitted to a crowd at a recent event. They went on to explain that they hadn't needed to disclose their work to the public because they had a private government contract. The device being tested had allegedly been a type of unmanned, or rather, a type of manned aerial drone. So there were people inside of it. When it turned, you almost completely lose sight of it, the employee continued, which is why I think people were seeing this up in the sky and why they were reports of people seeing it and saying it disappeared. So you'd see it up in the sky, it would turn, it would disappear, and people would go, oh, it's a UFO. It wasn't. It was just a manned drone.
I wonder how often that happens. There's so much going on that we're not aware of, and then it's unidentified and it's a little discombobulating.
I still contend 90% of what you see in the night sky is human. It's man-made. It's not alien at all. And it's military stuff, just like this drone tech.
Right.
Um, all right. Our next story has to do with a study that suggests that aliens may have been observing Cold War nuclear tests. The research found evidence of unidentified lights in the sky above nuclear test sites during the Cold War, authored by Dr. Beatrice, I believe this is Villarroel, and Dr. Stephen Brule. The groundbreaking study has found compelling evidence to suggest that there is a distinct correlation between nuclear tests carried out in the 1940s and 50s and the appearance of anomalous bright spots or transients appearing in photographs of the sky during that time. Incredibly, unlike most UFO research, this study has actually been peer-reviewed, indicating that there is some genuine merit to the author's methodology and conclusions. There are objects before Sputnik 1 when humans had nothing up there. And these things, no matter what they are, they need to be really flat, reflective like a mirror. And I personally don't know anything, natural that looks like that, said Dr. Villarol. The images themselves were captured during the Cold War by the Palomar Observatory Sky Survey in California. The study focused on 124 nuclear bomb tests conducted by the U.S., the Soviet Union, and the U.K., and found that the mysterious lights appeared briefly and then vanished at around the same time. That said, the research doesn't provide, or rather doesn't prove that the objects were extraterrestrial visitors. There may be some other explanation for their appearance in relation to the nuclear tests. Nature can always surprise us with something we could never have imagined, Dr. Villarol told News Nation. So I cannot exclude that there might be some other explanation that is just outside my imagination. But from what I see, I cannot find any other consistent explanation than what we are looking at, something artificial. I don't know. The time frame itself says that, we still had flying craft at that time, 40s and 50s. So you could be dealing with any type of flying craft that could be setting off lights in the sky, but
Right.
But there were minimal lights in the sky at that point. So,
But still, I think things that we weren't aware of that were being put out by the government, to your point
yeah,
earlier.
right. Scientists have spotted a skyscraper-sized asteroid racing through the solar system. And no, it's not 3I Atlas. The discovery, led by Carnegie Science astronomer Scott Shepard, has offered new insight into the dynamics of twilight asteroids that travel close to the Earth. The asteroid, named 2025 SC79, circles the sun once every 128 days, making it the second fastest known asteroid orbiting in the solar system. It was first observed by Carnegie Science astronomer Scott Shepard September 27th, according to a statement from Carnegie Science. The asteroid is the second known object with an orbit inside Venus. The statement said it crosses Mercury's orbit during its 128-day trip around the sun. Many of the solar system's asteroids inhabit one of two belts of space rocks, but perturbations can send objects careening into closer orbits. I can't believe somebody actually used that word, where there can be more challenging to spot, Shepard said. Understanding how they arrived at these locations can help us protect our planet and also help us learn more about solar system history. The celestial body is now traveling behind the sun and will be invisible to telescopes for several months. Shepard searched for so-called twilight asteroids. They're the ones who are sparkly, by the way. And that's how you know they're twilight asteroids.
I like the sparkly ones.
They're nice. Help identify objects that could pose a risk of crashing into Earth, the statement said. The work, which is partially funded by NASA, uses the dark energy camera on the National Science Foundation's Blanco 4-meter telescope to look for planet killer asteroids in the glare of the sun that could pose a danger to Earth. The NSF's Gemini telescope and the Carnegie Science Magellan telescopes were used to confirm the sighting of 2025 FC79, Carnegie Science said. The fastest known asteroid was also discovered by Shepard, who studies solar system objects, including moons, dwarf planets, and asteroids, and his colleagues in 2021. That one takes 133 days to orbit the sun. So there you go. Astronomers have discovered a nearby potentially habitable super Earth. It's just 18.2 light years away. So no big.
Yeah. It's not too far.
No. It'll only take you a third of your life to get there if you can travel at light speed. This newfound extrasolar world is in orbit around a red dwarf star. So if you're Superman, you don't get all your powers either.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Dubbed GJ2, where do they come up with these names? GJ251c. So it's got a catchy name and you can dance to it. The planet is rocky and terrestrial, but has a mass 4 times greater than that of our own world, meaning that it belongs to a class of planet known as super Earth. It took astronomical observations spanning a period of 20 years to actually detect it. The most exciting thing about the find, that is GJ251c, is that it's situated in the star's Goldilocks zone, the region in which the temperature is just right for liquid water to exist on a planet's surface. Unfortunately, though, it is simply too far away to determine whether or not it has an atmosphere, and we don't currently have a telescope capable of analyzing it, even if it does have one. While we can't yet confirm the presence of an atmosphere or life on GJ251c, the planet represents a promising target for future exploration, said Penn State University's Professor Suvrath Mahadevan. The next telescope that will be capable of analyzing the planet's atmosphere, the Habitable Worlds Observatory, sadly won't even launch until the 2040s. Until then, all we can do is just speculate.
Sounds like you and I won't be able to live there. We're going to be too old.
Yeah, it's going to take 18.2 light years to get there. So in regular years, it's probably, 100 years away?
Yeah, by the time they figure it out, you and I are going to be underground.
Underground what? Partying?
I'm going to say 6 feet under, but I thought, well, I think I'm getting cremated, so
Boy, you already got that planned out?
why not? I just don't want to become soup. That's my thing.
You don't want to be bone soup?
I do not. I don't want water to get in my casket, and then they have to exhume me for some reason, and then they find me all soupy. Ugh.
Creeps me out to even think about it. I haven't even.
Burn me up.
Creeps me out. It just creeps me out, Jess. I can't. I get it.
So gross.
I get anxiety thinking about that. You know that?
I know. Me too.
I don't know why. I just do. It just freaks me out. I need to. You know what I need? I need like people from Washburn McGreevy or something to come and hold my hand and tell me everything's going to be okay.
Everything's gonna be okay, Timmy.
You know what I need? I need an above ground mausoleum, airtight, with the glass, with the glass top and a bell.
Just in case you're not dead.
That's right. Yeah.
That's another fear.
I need
Set me on fire and turn me into a diamond. That's my plan.
oh, that's a good idea too. I need to be made into a record album.
Ooh.
With my own soundtrack. I need what I need to do is win the lottery so that I have a specialized coffin and everything to keep me, in case I do pop up. I don't know why I must have had a past life or something where I wasn't fully dead.
No, yeah, that could be
I was
trauma.
Yeah. And I must have trauma from it. I must have been buried alive or something.
Can't imagine anything worse.
Oh.
Go back to the stories. You're freaking me out.
I'm freaked out right now too. Maybe we were buried alive together, Jess.
Probably.
Speaking of being buried alive, were the dinosaurs really in decline before the asteroid struck? It's a theme today. The asteroid striking. I don't know why all these stories are out this week. That's what I want to know.
I'm really thinking about this as a collective.
Yes, all right. I think we're manifesting it.
No.
New research has challenged the idea that the dinosaurs were already declining before their untimely extinction. After dominating the planet for more than 150 million years, the dinosaurs, which were some of the most successful creatures ever to walk the Earth, were completely wiped out by a catastrophic asteroid strike that brought about unimaginable devastation at the end of the Cretaceous era some 60 million years ago. But what had life been like for the dinosaurs prior to the arrival of the asteroid? Well, recent research had suggested that these creatures were already suffering from significant decline even before the space rock hit. But now a new study seems to have cast doubt on this idea. To learn more, Dr. Andrew Flynn and colleagues used radiometric and magnetic dating to date fossils from the San Juan Basin to a period just before the extinction event occurred. This enabled them to identify significant diversity in the number and types of dinosaur species that were roaming the region at one time. And thus demonstrating that the dinosaurs appeared to be thriving and not declining. In the north, there were lots of horned triceratops and standard duck-billed dinosaurs like Edmontosaurus. I didn't even know that was a dinosaur, said study co-author Professor Steve Brusate of the University of Edinburgh. But in the south, there were duckbills with elaborate crests, and most striking of all, there were enormous long-necked sauropods. There were no sign that these dinosaurs were in any trouble for that, or that anything unusual were happening to them, or that there were any type of long-term decline. According to Dr. Flynn, the idea that the dinosaurs had been in any decline may have been down to the fact that there were few exposed rocks and hence fewer fossils available to study from this period. It looks like, as far as we can tell, there's no reason that they should have gone extinct except for the asteroid impact. Interesting. So it looks like there wasn't much of any impact at all. Okay, and finally, before we go to break, whatever happened to the long-rumored reboot of the X-Files? Well, filmmaker Ryan Coogler of Black Panther fame, who has been tipped to bring the show back, has been offered an update on what's been going on with it. When the X-Files debuted back in 1993, nobody had ever seen quite anything like it, following FBI agents Fox Mulder, played by David Duchovny, and Dana Scully, who is played by Gillian Anderson. The show quickly became something of a pop culture sensation, popularizing the idea of government conspiracies and leading whole generations of people to declare, "I want to believe." The original show ran until 2002 and spawned 2 feature films before returning for a brief, although much less successful, 2-season stint from 2016 to 2018. This would seem to have been the end of it. But then in 2023, Fox revealed that it was developing a new animated comedy series based on the show entitled The X-Files Albuquerque. This ultimately failed to materialize, but then another more conventional reboot of the show was announced, this time with Ryan Coogler at the helm. I just spoke to a young man, Ryan Coogler, who's going to remount The X-Files with a diverse cast. Original showrunner Chris Carter told CBC podcast On the Coast with Gloria, I believe it is Makarenko, back in 2023. So he's got his work cut out for him because we covered so much territory. 2 years on, however, very little about this alleged reboot has surfaced. But while speaking to Variety recently, Coogler did seem to confirm that he was still working on it. Like my relationship with Rocky, with my dad, the X-Files, is one of those things with my mom, he said. My mom means the world to me. She's actually here tonight. So this is a big one for me. I want to do right by her and the fans. My mom has read some of the stuff I wrote for it. She's fired up. Beyond this, however, Coogler was unable to provide any details and was able to confirm whether or not, or was also unable to confirm whether or not David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson would be in the reboot. As things stand, it seems unlikely that the show would be releasing anytime soon, if at all. So Ryan Coogler's still behind it, which is good to hear, but unclear as to whether it will be released anytime soon.
If he follows through with it, it's going to be amazing.
It will be. You know, it seems like everything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah, I would 100% watch it and love it. So fingers crossed.
I think it'll be pretty good, but we'll see. We'll see. Who can tell, right? All right, coming up in the next segment, we will tell you exactly how to defeat AI. We know the game plan now. We're going to tell it to you when we come back. So we have that. People are also using AI to talk to God. We may tell you a little bit about that story. We may or may not. I'm still debating on that story. I may post that in the description of the show. People are also using their Teslas to detect spirits, Jess. I don't know if you saw the viral video on this.
My brother sent it to me.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about it in the next segment. Also, 48 different ways that people have had near-death experiences. We'll talk about that when we come back. That's coming up next. And our palate cleanser today has to do with a woman who showed ID to TSA from a non-existent country, or is it? We'll talk about the country of Terenza. Does it exist? We'll let you know right after the break. And if you have a Parashare for us, you can simply send it to tim@darknessradio.com. You can type it out and send it to me. Or there's another way to do it. If you go to darknessradioshow.com, our website, there's a little blue button on the right-hand side of the website. Click on that blue button. You have 2 minutes to leave a voice note. If you need more time, click on that blue button again, rinse, repeat, do it over and over and over again. I'll stitch them together, put it on the show here. Third way, if you have a studio like Jess and I are sitting in right now on video, like you see right here, make a video Parashare. Send it in. We'll play it right here on the show. You can be on video with us. How does that sound? All right, when we come back, we're talking near-death experiences. We're talking finding ghosts with your Tesla. We're finding the country of Terenza. It's all coming up next right here on a Supernatural News Wednesday, right here with your buddies Tim and Jess, right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio on a Wednesday, Supernatural News. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Right over there is Jessica Freeburg. Jess, let's just rip the Band-Aid off if you're ready. It's time now for us to check in with AI news. Normally I say something clever and witty about being happy. I'm not going to do it today.
Let's just go.
Let's just go. Let's just get it done, shall we? Let's see what's waiting for us on the other side here. We'll start it off today in our AI news segment by talking about, Beer City Bruiser has this theory that AI is not only evil, but it's also racist. I think he's right.
Yeah.
Our first story has to do with a student who was handcuffed after an AI system mistook a bag of Doritos for a weapon.
What? I mean, they're terrible for you, so they're kind of a weapon. They're slowly killing you.
Slowly killing you. Yeah, the MSG is no good for you. An artificial intelligence detector led police to believe a person was armed with a weapon at a Baltimore County, Maryland school when it turned out they just had a bag of chips. Taki Allen was sitting with friends Monday night outside Kenwood High School, eating a bag of chips after football practice. About 20 minutes later, police officers showed up with guns walking towards Allen. It was like 8 cop cars that came pulling up for us. At first, I didn't know where they were going until they started walking toward me with guns, talking about get on the ground. And I was like, what? Allen told sister station WBAL 11 News. Allen said police told him an AI detector thought his bag of chips, which he crumpled and placed in his pocket when he was finished with it, was a weapon. It made me get on my knees, put my hands behind my back, and cuff me. Then they searched me and they figured out that I had nothing, Allen said. Then they went over to where I was standing and found a bag of chips on the floor. Police showed Allen the picture that triggered the AI detector. I was just holding a Doritos bag. It was 2 hands and 1 finger out, and they said it looked like a gun, Allen told WBAL TV News. County police sent a statement Tuesday afternoon to WBAL TV 11 News saying on Monday evening at approximately 7:20 p.m., officers assigned to Precinct 11 Essex responded to Kenwood High School following a report of a suspicious person with a weapon. Once on scene, the person was searched and it was determined the suspect was not in possession of any weapons. I would refer you to BCPS regarding questions pertaining to Omni Alert. Last year, Baltimore County high schools began using a gun detection system that employs AI to detect potential weapons by utilizing existing school cameras. The system can identify a possible weapon and send an alert to the school safety system. Wants to see this happen, said Lamont Davis, Allen's grandfather. So, Jess, AI, great detection system for guns or what?
I think that's a big fail there, Tim. Don't mess with a kid in their Doritos.
I guess not. Huh? I just don't really think it's a great system. That's for sure.
No,
All right.
it definitely makes a lot of mistakes. That's the part that's so scary about it is that it does make a lot of mistakes, and yet we use it for so many things that are pretty important.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
Kind of
we
scary.
might depend on it too much. Meanwhile, we may have the answer as to how to defeat AI. And it may be simpler than you think. It's not going to take any high power weapons or any great
Nerf guns?
or Nerf guns or any great programmer to sneak in and counter program it at night.
Hmm.
Believe it or not, all it's going to take is clickbait.
Oh, well, that'll get you every time.
Yeah. Turns out that clickbait gives AI models brain rot.
Oh,
We're going to brain rot it to death.
sort of like the rest of us.
That's right. If you think scrolling the internet all day is making you dumber, just imagine what it's going to do to large language models that consume a near endless stream of absolute trash crawled from the web in the name of training. The research team recently proposed and tested a theory called LLM brain rot hypothesis, which posited that the more junk data is fed to an AI model, the worse its outputs would become. Turns out that it's a pretty solid theory, as a preprint paper published by ARXIV or AR1014 by the team shows brain rot impacts LLMs and results in non-trivial cognitive declines. To see how LLMs perform on a steady diet of internet sewage, researchers from Texas A&M University, University of Texas at Austin, and Purdue University identified two types of junk data: short social media posts that have lots of engagement, including likes and reposts, and longer content with clickbait headlines, sensationalized presentation, and a superficial level of actual information. Basically, the same type of content that is also rotting out our own brains. With that in mind, the researchers scraped together a sample of 1 million posts on X and then trained 4 different LLMs on varying mixtures of control data and junk data to see how it would affect performance. Sounds like a big waste of time, doesn't it?
Someone's getting paid for this.
That's right. Someone did get paid for it. They then fed this to the LLMs, and voila, it managed to slow it down to nothing.
Hmm.
There you go.
So they saw what it was doing to our brains and decided to use it against AI.
That's right.
I like it.
So what happened, for instance, the Llama 3 model displayed significantly higher levels of narcissism, became less agreeable. It also went from displaying nearly no signs of psychopathy to extremely high rates of the behavior. It basically just shut down. Isn't that fun?
That's how I feel at the end of the day sometimes.
Yeah. It
Just shutting down.
just collapsed on itself. That's how you defeat AI.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
I guess it's not so scary after all, Tim.
No. No, we just take it out. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. All right. You want some ghosty stories?
Yes, please.
All right. An apparition is picked up on CCTV outside a medieval Chester castle. Something strange was wandering on the grounds of one of England's most intriguing historic castles recently. As part of this year's Halloween season celebrations, English Heritage, which manages hundreds of historic sites, monuments, and buildings across England, has shared a still image that was captured by a motion-activated CCTV camera outside Chester Castle in Cheshire. Say that 10 times fast. I dare you.
I don't think I could say it once.
The camera has reportedly picked up unusual movement before snapping a photograph of what appears to be a hooded, semi-transparent humanoid figure walking through the rain in the dark. Well, that's got to be hard to pick up on camera anyways. Upon being alerted to the presence of someone or something at the site, a security guard went to investigate but found nobody at all. While he was attending the scene, his dog became scared and refused to move. A full search was then carried out of on the whole building, but there was no sign of anyone. The castle itself has long been home to stories of paranormal encounters ranging from the sound of ghostly piano music to sightings of mysterious figures evaporating into mist. At least half of the staff working there have had some sort of unexplained experiences. Chilling tales of the returning dead have also been told since the dawn of recorded history and provide a way of understanding our relationship with the dead and the past, said curator Dr. Michael Carter. They captivate and intrigue us, and there's nothing like the delicious excitement of sharing a spooky tale with friends and family, they also went on to say. Let's see if I can see. Okay, I can also see where this is pareidolia. I'm going to show you this picture of the so-called ghost.
Yeah. I feel like it's our eyes trying to make sense out of something.
Yeah.
Ah, darn it.
I see where that could be a post too.
Yeah, exactly. I can see why people think it is what they think it is, but it definitely has kind of that squarish hop to it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Because if you notice, there's 2 or 3 posts to the right of it.
Yeah, exactly. If I hadn't seen those other posts, for sure, you'd be like, oh, that's totally something. But seeing those other posts in the background of it,
Yeah.
especially the one closest to it with the dark and then the light.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's what makes it
Ah,
suspicious.
debunked.
Tell you what, I'm going to post this in the description of the program so you guys can take a look at this photo as well, and you can weigh in, tell us what you think, and shoot me an email, tim@darknessradio.com. The question here, Jess, is why are we still so obsessed with hunting for ghosts? Ghosts! As my I'm still in puberty, evidently, from yesterday.
I love it. You'll get there eventually. You'll
I
grow the
will.
armpit hair and all that kind of stuff, Tim.
Someday I'll be a man.
You're almost there.
Almost there. Paranormal investigation and ghost hunting still remain popular pastimes for many fans of the unexplained. According to Alice Vernon, in 1874, renowned chemist Sir William Crookes sat in a darkened room, eyes fixed on a curtain or over an alcove. The curtain twitched, and out came a glowing ghost of a young woman dressed in a white shroud. He was entranced from that point forward, but the ghost was fake, and his involvement in seances nearly ruined his career. The lesson wasn't learned, however, and Crookes, like thousands after him, continued to search for evidence of spirits. The popularity of the Victorian seance and his associated pseudo-religion spiritualism spread rapidly across the world, from small parlors hushed with the hopes of the recently bereaved to grand concert halls. Audiences were eager for a spooky spectacle. Ghost hunting remains an immensely popular cultural interest. Platforms such as YouTube and TikTok are now awash with amateur investigators trudging through abandoned buildings and well-known haunted houses in order to capture evidence. According to Alice, she says she spent the last few years researching the social history of ghost hunting for her new book, Ghosted, A History of Ghost Hunting and Why We Keep Looking, to examine ghosts from the perspective of the living. She asks, why do we continue to cling to the hope of finding definitive proof of a spectral afterlife? The active investigation of ghosts became an international phenomenon in 1848 when young sisters Kate and Mary Fox popularized a knocking code to communicate with the ghost that allegedly haunted their farmhouse in Hydesville, New York. 5 years later, it was estimated that they amassed $500,000, equivalent to almost 15 million pounds today. Spiritualism spread across the world, particularly to the UK, France, and Australia. It was helped along by grief in the aftermath of the American Civil War, and in the beginning of the 20th century, the mass bereavement of the First World War. People turned to spiritualism and ghost hunting for fame and fortune, but also for genuine hope and an overwhelming need that evidence that death was not the end. In direct parallel with spiritualism, however, rose skeptics keen to seek out the truth of ghosts. The most vehement critics of spiritualism were magicians who felt that mediums were trying to copy their trade, but from a morally reprehensible approach. At least a magician's audience knew that they were deliberately being deceived. The most famous illusionist, Harry Houdini, for instance, often bitterly argued with his close friend and ardent spiritualist, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, about the fraudulent practice of mediums. With the rise of modern scientific laboratories and the development of portable sound and image recording devices in the 20th century, ghost hunting became an increasingly popular and sensationalized hobby. Harry Price, psychical researcher, author, and professional hobbyist, used ghost hunting to create a cult of personality for himself, sniffing out any interesting haunting that could potentially lead to publicity. But it was also Harry Price who brought out ghost hunting to the media as a form of entertainment. In 1936, he did a live BBC radio broadcast from a haunted house. Price's broadcast is the forgotten precursor for ghost hunting as we know it today. Reality TV shows mimic the format of his 1936 broadcast, with examples such as Most Haunted gaining a loyal following since it began airing on Living TV in 2002. While no longer produced for television, the Most Haunted crew continued to film and post new episodes on their YouTube channel. It's also a clear influence for international copies such as Ukraine's Bitva Extrasensova, and New Zealand's Ghost Hunt. Social media, too, has changed the way we ghost hunt. It has allowed for amateur groups and investigators to gain an immense audience across various platforms. There's a little bit more here. It says, all in a bid to gain the most scientific evidence and therefore popularity and respect among their peers, it seems the more scientific we claim to be in our search for ghosts, the more we allow pseudoscientific theories to encroach on the hunt. Yet we never give up, and that's what's fascinated this author, why she undertook her research. She wanted to know why, after centuries, we are no closer to achieving conclusive evidence for the paranormal, but ghost hunting is more popular than ever before. She says she even went on a couple of ghost hunts herself to try and find out this conundrum. The answer, she thinks, is that ghost hunting isn't for scientific discovery at all, but for social connection, revealing more about the living than the dead. She had one of the most fun experiences of her life while on a ghost hunt, despite being a skeptic. She says she's drawn into the search, but also the way that it allowed her to connect with new people and with the history of the haunted building itself. So it sounds like she had some fun, which I think you'd agree, Jess, is kind of the whole point of it, right?
I think for me it is. I know people have different motivations, right? Like some people really go into it wanting proof of something beyond the physical here and now.
Mm-hmm.
I already totally believe in that, so I don't need proof in it of it. I do it for fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I have an article on the history of the haunted house as well that I'm going to post in the description of this podcast, so you can read the history of the haunted house as well. I have a story here about that was sent to me by a listener about Penhurst. You know, the Conjuring House is up for auction here at the end of the week. It's well known that Jason Hawes has put together a community effort through YouTube to try and obtain the Conjuring House. And they're up to, I believe, as of the time that we're recording this, it's over $175,000 in the GoFundMe effort.
Wow.
Now he is matching funds, and maybe even a little more than that. There is a private donor who will come in and pour in $400,000. There's a lot of people from the community who have come forward and thrown their verbal support behind it. Sam and Colby being the latest to throw their verbal support behind it. I believe Waverly Hills has thrown their verbal support behind it. Many others. I got an interesting email from Jeff who said, "Hey, Tim, here's something about Penhurst and the plans to do something to Penhurst."
I heard about this. Yeah, it's super disappointing.
There's a plan to turn the Penhurst site into a massive data center, which is outraging the neighbors. The pushback comes as both President Donald Trump and Governor Josh Shapiro champion a data center development. Megan Heiken recently bought a home near the former Penhurst State Hospital and School, once a center for people with developmental disabilities, and now operates as a popular haunted Halloween attraction. It says here from the Philadelphia Inquirer. So forgive the language. I know you guys think of it as something else. A new plan to convert Penhurst into a massive data center has outraged and mobilized local residents as well as people in neighboring communities in an area known for rolling hills, farms, and an overall rural character. Heiken launched an online petition urging her Chester County neighbors and East Vincent Township officials to work together towards a solution to preserve the Penhurst property, honor its history, and protect the environment and quality of life for all who live, work, and visit here. The petition now has 1,825 signatures as of last Friday. I made this move to be out in an area with more space, more nature, Heiken said. The fact that the owner just wants to plow it over and swap in a data center is kind of alarming. Her sentiments are widely shared. The Board of Supervisors and Planning Commission in East Vincent has hosted public meetings on the issue that stretched 4 hours as residents in Spring City to Pottstown have voiced objections. Data centers require a large-scale way of cooling computing equipment and are often dependent on water to do that. The amount of water they can use can be the same as an average large office building, although few require substantially more, according to a recent report from Virginia, which has become a data center hub. Steve Hacker of East Vincent told the board that his well had already gone dry, as has his neighbors, even before a data center had been built. He's concerned about where the data center would get its water. The pushback comes as both President Donald Trump and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro champion data center development. Trump aims to fast-track data centers and exempt them from some environmental regulations. Shapiro promotes a 10-year plan that includes cutting regulatory red tape. State legislators and local governments are scrambling to rewrite local laws, as most have no local zoning to accommodate data centers and regulate them. Now, Penhurst's owner has not yet filed a formal application to develop the site, but an engineering firm has submitted a sketch of a preliminary plan to East Vincent Township to develop 125 acres for use as a data center. The land is currently owned by Penhurst Holdings, LLC, whose principal is Derek Strine. Strine has deferred comment to a spokesperson named Kevin Feely. Penhurst AI is aware of the concerns expressed by the residents of East Vincent Township, and we are committed to working through the township to address them, Feely wrote in an email. What we propose is a facility that would be among the first of its kind in the U.S., a state-of-the-art data center project that would address environmental concerns while also providing significant economic investment, jobs, and tax ratables, as well as other benefits that would directly address the needs of the community. Feely said Penhurst AI plans to continue working cooperatively with the township. The sketch calls for 5 two-story data center buildings, a 6-building and electrical substation, and a solar field. Together, the buildings would house data operations and would total more than 1.3 million square feet. The plan states that a data center is an allowable use within the Penhurst property because the land is zoned for industrial. Mixed-use development, township officials have agreed a data center would be allowed under that zoning. The grounds are bordered by Penhurst Road to the west. The Schuylkill lies down a steep gorge to the east and north. The property is near the border of Spring City, which is just to the south. It doesn't sound like Penhurst Asylum would be around.
No.
No.
It would be gone forever.
Yeah.
Which is really tragic, in my opinion. I mean,
very much so.
It's just a building, but it definitely contains a lot of history.
Well, and that's the sad thing. It hasn't been zoned historical. So
yeah,
there are no plans.
Why? That's crazy to me.
Well, that's totally up to either the state or the township to step in and want to do that. But if they decide that there's not a use for it or that there's nothing there historical to zone.
Yeah. Do you think it's like a case of where they kind of just want to, I mean, forget about it? It's not a great memory in their history. So,
That's exactly it. It's not a great memory.
but
And,
they say when we forget, we're destined to repeat history, right? Like we need these reminders.
but see, that would be like, and let me give you a local reference real quick as to what they consider it to be. It'd be like for us here in Minnesota, it'd be like saying Anoka State Hospital is you know, there's a reason
Hmm.
why the state of Minnesota has taken and put other things in Anoka State Hospital and has kept
Right,
building and changing Anoka State Hospital. To them,
right.
it's an administrative building. It's not something to be revered.
Mm,
It's workspace, you know, and it's a place where they've put inmates. I mean, at Anoka State Hospital, uh,
right.
they've used it as a day space. I mean, it's not it's a functional space. It's not to them. It's not, you know, even though we as investigators look at it as sacred ground, it's
Right.
it's not to the general public. It right now,
Yeah. To the average person, it's just a building.
yeah, it's space that's being wasted right now. So it needs to be used in a functional way, and a data center would do that.
Well, I hate it, Tim.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Yeah, as paranormal investigators, it's sacred ground. So
Right. And just as like a historian, I mean, like all of my books are grounded in both paranormal and history. Like history, like just seeing a piece of history being wiped out is just
yeah,
a bummer.
yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Our next story has to do with harrowing deaths in the most haunted village after a man's remains are found in a hidden room. Minster Lovell Hall in Oxfordshire is said to be haunted by the ghosts of the Lovell family, including Francis Lovell, whose remains were found in a secret chamber in the 18th century. Workers at a 15th century Cotswold manor stumbled upon a chilling find when they unearthed a hidden chamber housing the skeletons of a man seated at a table and a dog at his feet. The skeletal remains of Francis Lovell were discovered eerily upright at a table surrounded by books, pens, and paper, as if frozen in time, leaving his cause of death shrouded in mystery. Eerie whispers continue to circulate centuries after that Francis and his loyal canine companions still haunt the ruins of Minster Lovell Hall, nestled beside the River Windrush in Oxfordshire. Cotswold.com describes Minster Lovell as the region's most haunted village, largely due to the ghostly apparitions of the Lovell family, who are rumored to frequent the area long after their demise. The hall was erected in the 1430s on one site of an older building by William VII Baron Lovell, a veteran of the renowned Battle of Agincourt. He also revamped the village church, believed to be his final resting place, although there's no inscription or documentary evidence to substantiate this claim, reports Gloucestershire Live. Minster Lovell Hall served as the primary residence of the Lovell family throughout much of the 15th century, even hosting Richard III as a guest of Francis, William's grandson. However, this close association with Richard proved disastrous when the family's estates were seized following the Battle of Bosworth, and the village was handed over to Jasper Tudor, uncle of Henry VII. However, it seems Francis wasn't prepared to give up, and in 1487, he barricaded himself and his dog inside a concealed chamber. The only person aware of his actions was a faithful servant who held the sole key. According to History UK, he remained there until workmen stumbled upon the underground vault and his skeletal remains during reconstruction work in 1708. But Francis wasn't the only fatality at the hall. Cotswold Journeys reports that William's bride vanished during a game of hide and seek on their wedding night, never to be seen again.
That didn't go well.
No, it didn't go well at all.
She
Uh,
found the best hiding place ever.
right. Then, years afterwards, a servant discovered the corpse of a young woman dressed in wedding attire, preserved in a lead lined chest used for storing food. One man who maintains he's had a close encounter with paranormal activity at Minster Lovell is Jonathan, who wrote on Darkling Room that he experienced a strange atmosphere upon entering the hall's dovecote. Jonathan said, upon entering, we were both immediately aware of the strange atmosphere around us. The bright daytime was gone, and an eerie atmosphere was enhanced by the dusky hues within. All was quiet. He also maintained that he captured photographic proof of some sort of entity. I took a photograph of the roof beams. I was more than a little startled to see a large white mass appearing to the right-hand side of the image. It took a moment to react, and sadly, I panicked most immediately. There was something very peculiar about the image, and my instinct was to leave the confined space and return to the daylight beyond the small door. Sir Thomas Coke, the Earl of Leicester, bought the manor in 1602 with his descendants overseeing the demolition for building materials during the mid-18th century. Our next story is what really happens when you nearly die. 48 people reveal exactly what happened when what they saw during their near-death experiences, from black holes to God. So anything in between, Jess. It's a question that has baffled many of the great human minds throughout history. What happens when we die? Well, now scientists have taken us one step closer to knowing the truth. Researchers have interviewed 48 people who have had near-death experiences and asked them what they saw in their final moments. Their responses revealed a staggering variety of visions. Some participants described seeing heavenly beings, while one even said they experienced a terrifying journey into a black hole. That's not one place I want to end up when I go.
I do not want to go in a black hole when I die.
No. Others, meanwhile, described grand visions featuring religious figures and profound emotional experiences. For example, one participant told scientists, there were stone stairs on the left in front of me, and Jesus was toward the top wearing a white robe, while another described how God appeared as a great light in the distance. Yet some people's visions of the afterlife were far more fantastical, featuring bizarre elements that you wouldn't find anywhere in the Bible. NDEs, again, are intense, often life-changing experiences that occur during life-threatening situations such as cardiac arrest or respiratory failure. Estimates suggest that about 4 to 8% of the general public have had an NDE. However, despite being surprisingly common, scientists have struggled to find a way of systematically studying such intense and personal experiences. However, despite being surprisingly common, scientists have struggled to find a way of systematically studying such intense and personal experiences. In a new study currently awaiting peer review, researchers tried to categorize NDEs by interviewing people about the geometry of their experience. Surprisingly, these interview sessions revealed that no two people experience exactly the same thing as they approach death. Even people who had visions of religious figures like God, Jesus, and the angels saw wildly different things. One participant described how they became light and saw Jesus at my right, bearded, robed, and there to show me the way out. Another told the interviewers, God force entered in from the front of me toward the right, and I had the feeling of wanting to lift my head up, but could not, or felt that I should not lift my head up. In other words, if you lift your head up, you probably end up in heaven. So you probably shouldn't do that. That'd be a bad.
That's where I want to go.
You want to, but it isn't your time yet.
Right. True.
Meanwhile, another participant gave an incredibly detailed description of an angel that had come to visit them in their final moments. They said that this had been, or they had had an exquisite white, or the angel had exquisite white wings, the feathers incredibly detailed and layered into one another, and his face was that of a Greek god, very symmetrical, and with polished hair like you see in Greek statues. Speaking to the Daily Mail, lead author Dr. Franz Lerner of the Beijing Institute of Mathematical Sciences and Applications explained how our cultural background provides the scaffold for the hallucinations caused by NDE. This might explain why one participant reported hearing men reading the Torah rather than seeing Christian iconography. On the other hand, many people's NDEs had no religious content at all and contained many of the classic near-death features, such as bright lights and long tunnels. One participant described being enveloped with an organic tunnel that was completely black but had iridescent qualities. Another recalled, I was in the center of an immense bubble of light. I saw no edge of this bubble. It enveloped me completely. I can say that I was part of it. This light was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. In a few haunting accounts, some participants even described encounters with loved ones, including those who had long since passed away. I saw my aunts, Elizabeth and Linny, as they were when they were younger women. I only knew them when they were 60, 70 years old. So one participant had told the scientists. However, some participants' NDEs were even stranger and contained elements which would be more at home in a science fiction film than religious text. For example, one person recalled seeing a black hole, saying a black hole looks black from afar. The light was so bright it was hard to see all the colors. They were still there. One participant had even a more unusual vision, telling researchers that they saw a matrix with many, many grid points, all connecting to each other in multiple dimensions. They added, I felt as if I had entered the matrix. I would be able to travel anywhere in the entire universe simply by thinking about it. Although their visions were wildly diverse, the researchers also found that these experiences play out in 4 distinct types of space. The first, which they call A-shapes, are scenes where the visual field is a narrow one. The researchers believe that these might be caused by reduced blood flow to the brain, which causes the peripheral vision to fail and create tunnel vision. So-called B shapes and C shapes, meanwhile, take place in elliptical or arch-shaped regions and are triggered as half of the visual field is temporarily lost. The final type, known as C shapes or C5 shapes, take place within a full 360-degree ellipsoidal enclosure. Interestingly, the researchers found that people typically progressed from an A shape to a C5 shape experiences as their NDE progressed, suggesting that they share the same physical cause. The researchers say that all NDEs are caused by a breakdown in the coherence between visual and other physical inputs, as they normally sustain our sense of bodily unity. Dr. Lerner explained that the shape of an NDE was caused by the way our visual field changes when the brain starts to shut down. Importantly, she says that doesn't imply that there is a separate soul or that our consciousness is capable of somehow leaving our body. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how it's so different for everyone.
It is. Yeah. It's interesting that it's different, but I still think it has to do with belief. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too. Our beliefs are really strong. They really inform everything we think in life. Why would it not inform how we perceive the afterlife?
Right. Very much so. So this whole Tesla radar thing has been quite the fascination online lately.
Wild.
Yeah. Headline here is, I was not expecting this to work. A man drove to a graveyard and then his Tesla radar started detecting spirits. Now, a Tesla driver wanted to determine if the EV's ghost hunting technology was legit. So what he did is he drove to a cemetery. TikTok user Evan Era, or if you want to find him online, it's at Evan Era Magic, posted a viral video that begins with footage of another Tesla owner's grave jaunt. It didn't take long for Era to record similar activity, leaving him grasping for answers. So we've all seen this video where the Tesla is driving through the cemetery and there's people showing up on the display, but there's actually no one there. A voice can be heard narrating at the start of the clip. At this point in the video, a record scratch plays and then Era's face can be seen looking incredulously into the video camera lens, or into the camera lens. No way. All right, we got to try this. It's close to Halloween. Let's give this a shot, the TikToker says. As the clip progresses, Era and a passenger embark on a paranormal journey to determine whether Tesla's infotainment systems are indeed capable of clocking unseen forces. Following this, the two record themselves cruising slowly through a cemetery. Through the glow of their Tesla headlights, several headstones can be seen. It doesn't take very long for the figures to appear in the infotainment display of their EV. Despite Tesla's software indicating there's a person standing near their vehicle, there isn't anyone physically visible outside. Moreover, the figure begins to disappear and reappear several times next to their car. No way, Evan says to the viewers upon witnessing the bizarre sight. Dude, there's nothing around us right now, he says as they sit in the Tesla and watch the humanoid apparition phase in and out of existence via their car's display. Things take a turn for the creepier when they clock another figure that looks like a walking pedestrian ambling through the cemetery just a few feet in front of their car. Again, the image on the Tesla screen isn't mirrored in real life. This continues to go on in the video, right? So toward the end of the clip, he reiterates how spooked he was to see the figures on his Tesla screen. He says, I'm really creeped out. We should leave now. Era said this before the video comes to a close. Now, as Era mentions in the video, there are several instances of Tesla drivers purportedly seeing ghosts on their environmental visualization screens while driving, particularly when they're in or near cemeteries. The YouTube video shows what looks like a gaggle of invisible ghouls swarming a Tesla. Like Era's clip, despite there being no evidence of physical presence outside the vehicle, its cabin monitors show animations of human figures crowding the exterior of their EV. So are these ghosts or sensor data? Well, Li Auto shot down any claims of otherworldly capabilities associated with its vehicles. The Chinese car maker attributed the phenomena to the limitations of sensor recognition capabilities on the market and said the figures of invisible pedestrians and bicyclists near a graveyard were not a supernatural event. IFL Science also looked into the Tesla's ADAS software's penchant for spotting ghosts. The outlet hypothesized that the uncanny activity probably has more to do with an ADAS limitation than esoteric capabilities. According to the Scientific Times or Science Times, the image presented on Tesla displays isn't a live feed of the vehicle's surroundings. Instead, the Tesla's camera technology processes the visual data to the best of its abilities and then translates that into an animated rendition on the driver's screen. The Science Times said that these ghosts popping up on Tesla screens in cemeteries is because the EV's ADAS processes footage of these tombstones as human figures. So it's a misimage.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. So what you're getting may not necessarily be what you think you're getting. So there you go. All right. Palate cleanser time. And then we're out of here.
All right.
All right. So I was teasing you about a viral clip that shows a woman from a non-existent country called Terenza. Or is it? A clip reportedly shows a woman from with a very peculiar passport. And it's been doing the rounds on social media recently. Earlier this month, rumors began to circulate of a woman who had turned up at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York with a passport from Terenza, a country that doesn't actually exist, before mysteriously disappearing. A widely shared Facebook post maintained that the passport hadn't otherwise raised any red flags and that the woman had seemed confused about her alleged home country not being recognized. All of her documents, tickets, and personal ID information showed the same country of origin. The story goes that she had told security guards, "Then this isn't my world," before being taken into a secure back room for questioning, alongside all of her luggage and belongings.
That is a creepy thing to say.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. According to the tale, by the next morning, she had completely disappeared, bags and all.
What?
Yeah. No trace of her was ever found. The story has since been circulated widely online, prompting a great deal of debate and speculation. Now, the trouble is, none of it is actually true. The entire story is completely made up.
I was going to say, you're messing with me. There's no way.
When AFP conducted a fact check on the case, they discovered that the clip of the woman at the airport was actually taken from a mid-2000s U.S. reality TV show called Airline. The woman shown was just a regular passenger, and there was no mention of Terenza. AFP also found no credible reports from airport or immigration officials confirming that there was an incident and that it had ever actually taken place. It just goes to show how easy it is these days for hoax to spread online.
It's so scary.
Isn't it?
That's the scariest thing about all of this. Like, sometimes I scroll through my Facebook, and because I'm a history nerd, I get these history stories with pictures. And then I look at them and I'm like, that's not the real story of that picture. That's totally made up BS. And everyone's like, this is so amazing. Isn't history the best thing? I'm like, yeah, it's not real.
There's a lot of fake stuff out there. The AI
Oh,
stuff coming out these days is just amazing.
I just hate it so much.
I've been getting into these fake Sora videos lately that people have been putting out just the worst Sora stuff lately. I mean, like Mr.
Hmm.
Rogers swearing and fighting and stuff like that. Like Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers fighting. I mean, it's like
Oh my gosh.
it's horrible, but it's great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
We're making ourselves stupider.
yeah, we are. It's brain rot. It's all brain rot. But at the same time, it's entertaining. But you just it's getting to the point where you can't trust anything you see online.
No, you can't. It's crazy. That's the thing that scares me the most about all of this AI stuff is that it's making it impossible to know what reality is.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Ugh,
Yeah, and the AI fakes are so good now. They're so good.
yeah,
Yeah, and
we live in a strange, strange world right now, Timmy.
yeah, we do that. We do, Jess. All
Good
right,
thing we're here to bring people the real news.
that's right. The real fake news. All right. Well, speaking of, coming up tomorrow on the big show, Richard Estep is back with us as he has a brand new book on ghosts, and he'll be with us, and we'll be speaking about that. And that's a real book. I know it is because I read it.
And he's a real person.
He's a real person. I know because I've met him.
I love it. He's a great guy. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, so we've got him with us tomorrow. Um, on your side of the world, you have one more presentation at Four Paws, but we can't get in because it's sold out.
It's sold out in less than 24 hours, but yes, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, sounds like it. But then you got big plans coming. Actually, you've got big stuff coming up at the end of the year.
Yeah, in December, we have a really fun writers retreat that has, well, it's both writing and art. So it's a creative retreat with, if you're really serious about writing, an agent will be there to give some critiques. So it's kind of cool. But then we're also investigating the Water Street Inn, which I understand they don't do a whole lot of. So we did open up investigation only tickets. So if you're not super into, the creative part, you can still get in on the investigation. We have a very limited number, but also, as Darkness Radio friends, if you send me a message to Jessica at jessicafreeburg.com, we can probably hook you up with a discount.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, because I love you guys.
Aw, look at that.
Yeah. And then I'll have another one in January at the Palmer House, but I'll tell you more about that later.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Look at that. All right. I happen to have it on good authority. I'm not gonna spoil it yet, but I know that Pot of Grass for Pooches is coming back in 2026 to the Palm.
Yay.
So we'll have more details on that here shortly. So
Ghosts and a good cause.
that's right. Ghosts and a good cause. So keep your calendars open in 2026 for that. So there you go. I think that's about it for now. So Richard Estep tomorrow. We got Halloween on Friday. Want to remind you guys to keep your doors open, keep your lights on late so that everybody gets their candy, and be aware when you're out there driving
Yes.
because you got to watch out for the kiddies. So
And be nice to those teenagers when they come to your door.
right, be nice to the teenagers because they could be out doing bad stuff, but they're only getting candy, which we love those teenagers that are coming to our door and getting candy. So, all right, that'll do it for today. We'll see you tomorrow for Richard Estep right here on the big program. For Jessica Freeburg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for continuing to watch and listen to us. And again, hit the like and subscribe buttons on both audio and video. And we'll see you tomorrow for Richard Estep right here on the best in paranormal programming. This is Darkness Radio.
For more audio and video archives of the show, intriguing content, fun events, and cool swag, check out darknessradioshow.com. The executive producer of Darkness Radio is Troy Palmer. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. And make sure to join us tomorrow for Ghostly Encounters, Terrifyingly True Hauntings with Richard Estep.